Y'all ready to head off the trail? I'm the Cryptid Huntress, Jessica Jones, and I'm ready to take you on a mysterious journey right now. We welcome you to Off the Trails right here on the Spaced Out Radio's YouTube channel. If you guys haven't hit subscribe yet, please do. We would love to have you. And shout out to Bumblefoot for that awesome intro music. I hope you guys checked out that amazing Super Bowl halftime show. That was straight representing ATL where I'm from. That was it was all right. It was all right. That's all I got to say about that. But yeah, you guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. We have a great show for you guys. But first, I got to remind you guys to please follow us on our social media sites at, let's see, Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. You guys, please be sure to follow me on my website. That's thecryptidhuntress.com. I have all of my shows posted over there, and I have a fantastic YouTube channel myself. That's the Cryptid Huntress over on YouTube. Please become a subscriber over there. I do have a membership now. It's called The Hunt Club, and I do exclusive videos. You don't want to miss that. Okay, also, I have a Patreon. That's the Cryptid Huntress over on Patreon, along with my shop. That's called War Woman Goods, and that's on Etsy. Of course, we do have the Patreon for Spaced Out Radio. It's called the Space Travelers Club, where you can get all sorts of good perks. Go to spacedoutradio.com for more information and hit up Spaced Out Radio on Patreon. Okay, I hope you guys are going to join us in Reno. We have the Spaced Out Radio fan party coming up I think it's the May 10th through 12th. And if you want to go to that, I believe that's going to be at the Silver Legacy Resort and Casino out in Reno. It rhymes. Okay, so hopefully I will see you guys there. We're going to be broadcasting live and having a VIP party and doing all sorts of haunted ghost tours and sky watches, and the biggest and the best names in the UFO community and the cryptid community are going to be there hanging out with us. So y'all come hang out, come party with us. It's going to be awesome. All right. Okay, well, let's get this show on the road, shall we? I have such a fantastic guest here tonight. Don't forget that I think After Hours is not going to be airing tonight. Okay. They may air last minute, but I think it's because of the Super Bowl. There probably will not be an After Hours after my show. So you guys buckle up and hang out with me till the very end here. And After Hours will be back next weekend if they're not on after me tonight. Okay. So let's get to our guest tonight. Mike Familant, a 34-year-old EMT, firefighter, and graphic designer, is a full-time Bigfoot researcher, producer, and lead investigator from Northwest New Jersey. He first got into Bigfooting in 2011 on an expedition in North Florida, where him and a friend experienced rocks being thrown at them while sitting around a campfire. Since then, he's made it his personal goal to find out exactly what is roaming the woods of America. In 2016, after becoming frustrated with the lack of true research expedition shows on TV, he created his own show called In the Shadow of Big Red Eye. The show is currently filming their 8th season. In 2018, Mike also created a docuseries called Squatchables, which is created for people who are just getting into Bigfooting, sort of a Bigfooting 101. With a passion for Bigfooting and a history in video editing, I decided to make the first real show about what expeditions are truly about. You'll see raw, uncut footage of what Bigfooting actually is. If there's one thing that he wants people to gain from the show, is for families and friends to get off the couch, get outside into nature, and explore what this amazing world has to offer. All of his shows can be found on his website, shadowofredeye.com. And he also has a YouTube channel. You guys, please help me welcome to the show, Mike Familant. Did I pronounce that right?
It's close enough. Familant.
Familant.
Yes, good enough. I think I want to join you in that watch party in Reno, by the way. That sounds amazing.
Oh, awesome. Oh, hey, I'll put you on the list. You better be there then. That's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
We always have a good time.
All right, good. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I've been low-key wanting to do this for so long now. I'm so excited to be here. So thank you.
Well, welcome to Spaced Out Radio. I am so glad that you're here. You and I have so much in common when it comes to these critters out there in the woods. And it's so interesting that you actually started Bigfooting the exact same year that I started Bigfooting. Okay, so, whoa. So this is like, that goes way back.
We're like ancient monsters now,
Oh my
like
God, I know,
in the
right?
Bigfoot career. I mean, like we're
Like,
old people now. That's
we're
crazy.
we're old school. Well, what your first experience, Mike? You said it says you were in North Florida. Okay, so
Mm.
like one of the first places that I ever investigated was in Chattahoochee, Florida, up in
Oh, no
North Florida.
kidding.
So I don't know if
Yeah.
that's where you were or not, but that's where one of my first investigations was.
Chattahoochee, that sounds like Three Rivers, am I not mistaken?
Hmm. I believe so.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
Three Rivers is beautiful. We were a little bit, east of there in Torreya State Forest, Torreya State Park.
Torreya.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Very cool. A lot of Bigfoot activity down there now, and I say down there because I'm in Georgia.
Mhm.
Okay, and but they have like skunk ape activity and wild man reports had been coming out of there since the 1800s.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's
Hmm.
definitely something going on down there. I mean, for sure. We were just down there, a week and a half ago, and I'm heading back down there next week actually on another expedition, so I can't wait to get back down there. I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh! Well, tell me a little bit about what you do and about your docuseries and
Oh boy.
I mean, that's a lot. So let's start off with this. How about this? Tell me what got you interested in Bigfooting and how you got your foot in the door with the Bigfooting stuff, and then we'll move on to your
Yeah, okay.
docuseries. How about
Sure.
that?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds great. How I got into Bigfooting. I was never into the outdoors at all.
Okay.
This is so going back to like 2011, we're gonna say. And I'm working in Sarasota, Florida at a beach resort, right? Best job I've ever had my entire life. The boss was like, "Hey, if you want to go out and watch the sunset every night with our guests, go ahead and do that." I'm like, huh, "Okay, you don't gotta tell me twice, you know?" Anyways, watching Finding Bigfoot on TV, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to come out with us?" And I said, "Oh my God, there's no way that I'm not doing this. This is like the coolest thing ever. I'm gonna go out on a big Squatch expedition with the people from TV. This was wild, right?"
Wow.
So, uh, yeah. Anyways, uh, come to find out, it was very expensive. I signed up that night. Non-refundable tickets, mind you. Come to find
Okay.
out. So, anyways, I was engaged at the time, and I bought 2 tickets because I wanted to bring my fiance, and I did not tell her what we were gonna do. This was gonna be like a pre-wedding surprise little thing type thing, right? So, anyways, uh, she had no idea. I had to start this is my first time ever camping, so I had to start, like, acquiring camping gear, like my tent and my sleeping bag and stuff like that, right? So and I was hiding all this stuff in my little, like, patio closet that I had in my one-bedroom apartment with my fiancé, and, anyways, so sh she, for some reason, one day decided to clean the place. Never in my life had she ever cleaned ever anything ever before. However, she decided that she was going to clean this apartment, and she found all the camping gear. And she
Uh-oh.
was like, "Mike, what are we doing?" And I said, "Hun, we are going to North Florida and we are looking for Bigfoot." Right? And then we
I bet
broke up.
she was like, wah, wah. What? Was she
Yeah.
into it at the
Oh no,
time?
we broke up after it. No, no, yeah. Yeah, she
Because
broke
of
up with
that?
me.
Just
Well, yeah,
kidding.
well, there's probably, some other reasons on top of that, but yeah. So anyways, that left me in a pretty, unfortunate situation because these tickets, like I said, were non-refundable. So, I moved up to Tampa. I got a job on the ambulance, which is my career. I'm an EMT by trade,
Mhm.
and, a, got the job in the ambulance, and I met my partner Jimmy. He was very weird, so I was like, "Oh, he might be able to go with me on this expedition." So I asked him. I said, "Hey, Jimmy, I got this trip to go up to look for Bigfoot. Do you want to come with me?" And he's like, "Man, I've always wanted to do that." I was like, "Nice, right? Perfect." So we end up in North Florida in Torreya State Park, and the nothing happened at all. It was kinda terrible. I mean, it was good. We had, 3 days hiking and meeting Bigfoot witnesses and talking to experts and researchers and stuff like that. But we didn't have any like Bigfoot activity. And that was until the last night. We were up watching a meteor shower that was coming down. It was really, really beautiful. And all of a sudden, we hear a knock on a tree. And I didn't think too much of it. I was like, whatever. Excuse me. And then all of a sudden, we hear another knock, the complete opposite direction. So I was like, I thought it was these people that put on the expedition. I was like, they must be hoaxing us, right? Because this is what they do. You know, we didn't have any Bigfoot activity, so whatever. Anyways, so then all of a sudden, about 10 minutes later, you hear it come crashing through the forest, a fist-sized rock, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was at this point in my life where I said, nope, this is how horror movies start. I am getting out of here, right? So I go, my buddy's like, Jimmy, he's like, well, if you want to sleep in the car, you're more than welcome to sleep. And by the time he said that, I had my tent, my sleeping bag, and I was just beelining it right to the car. So, anyways, he's like, Mike, you know, he comes up to me. He's like, Mike, Bigfoots throw rocks and they knock on trees. This could be like this could be squatchy activity. So I was like, yeah, you're right. Jersey in the house. And I was like, yeah, this, I guess you're right. So we went back out by the campfire. And over the course of the next 15 minutes, 4 more of these fist-sized rocks come crashing down, land 5 to 10 feet from us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my buddy, he's like, I'm going to throw a rock back at it. I said, I don't think that's a good idea, Jimmy. You know? So he takes a rock, chucks it back in that direction. And I knew it wasn't a person that was throwing these rocks, because at that exact moment, a 15-pound laptop-sized boulder came crashing down, landed 5 feet from us. So that was my kind of first experience into Bigfooting and what got me into this whole phenomenon of the cryptid world, I suppose.
Oh my gosh, it must have been quite the experience, because it got you really super interested. Some of the first times that I ever went out with my team, which before it was my team, I had a big rock thrown across a creek and it landed by my feet around the campfire one night. Yeah, you know, if they wanted to hit me, they would have hit me.
Absolutely.
But they don't. They never actually hit us. But it gets really, you know, they actually got to be really good aim if they're throwing it right at us, but they don't hit us. Right?
Yeah. No, I think they intentionally threw rocks at us because they wanted to get us out of the area. I think it was like an intimidation type thing, and I think that's what they do. I'm pretty sure I've gotten rocks thrown at me. Up in Whitehall, New York, as well, and I think that was more of an intimidation thing, like you know, hey, get out of the area, you know.
Yeah, we get a lot of warnings. Okay, so you had mentioned something about the TV show. Okay, that you had you're going to go down there and hang out with the guys from, was Finding Bigfoot, right?
Yeah.
And much like you, I know I watched the Bigfoot shows, and I remember thinking, and I actually have a very good friend who's like family to me, who was on a show. It was called Killing Bigfoot at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Grumpy's on. I'm actually on his team. Okay, but they're not going to kill a Bigfoot, by the way. Okay, so if anybody's wondering, they didn't kill a Bigfoot, but that was the name of the show, and so. But before that show, you know, I'm watching these shows and I'm watching them, I'm thinking, man, that's not really what we do out in the field. It's not like a real representation. What they're showing the public is not really what we're out there doing. Right. So that's why I really appreciate what you do, because you started documenting. Eventually, you started documenting your journey with the Bigfooting, right?
Yeah, I was just kind of like, why not? You know, I got the experience doing some video editing, and like you said, the shows on TV. After doing this for a couple years, I was like, man, these shows on TV are really cool, but they don't really show the true gist of what Bigfooting truly is. So I was like, I'm gonna make my own show. And we just hit 3,000 subscribers the other day, so I think it's doing pretty good.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, what I really like about you documenting what you're doing is, like, you say it's like raw and uncut kind of stuff, right? So what we do out there, okay, first of all, we get dirty, Okay, and this is coming from my field research experience. I get dirty, my hair gets greasy. Okay, like we're covered in mud, we're covered in bugs and gnats and mosquito bites, and
Yeah.
it can be quite boring sometimes,
Poison
because it's
ivy.
not,
Got poison ivy last time I was out. Don't forget that.
oh my god, and poison
Yeah.
ivy. Okay, well that happens. Just don't. Yeah, you got to be careful what you're touching out there and what you. And I started getting allergic to poison ivy at this point. I don't know.
Oh,
As I gotten older, I'm more susceptible to like poison ivy for some reason. So, or poison oak. I don't know. But anyways, it can be rather like kind of brutal out there, and it's not really what some of those TV shows portray it to be. Not that it's glamorous by any means what
oh.
they show, but yeah, and I appreciate the fact that you want to bring anyone who's interested into it and to teach them about Bigfooting and stuff.
Well,
So
and it's excuse me, it's not even like it's one thing to bring people out, like you said in my intro, to bring friends and families outside into nature, and I think that's paramount. I think that's fundamentally one of the most genuine things that you could do, is to just get outside and explore nature. um but Bigfooting, is not inherently for everybody. It's kind of scary, right?
mhm.
Looking for an 8 foot tall bipedal hominid out there in the middle of the night. It's not for everybody. But I would challenge anybody, if you're not even into Bigfooting, go out there and start to like go fishing or hiking or learn survival stuff. Like I could rub two sticks together and make a fire now. Like that's crazy. Never thought I could be able to do that. But anything that gets you outdoors and into nature, I think is just paramount to anything sitting watching TV on the couch.
Yeah. Yeah, tell me about your experience up in New Jersey, because I'm way down here in the South, and when I think of New Jersey, I think of the Jersey Devil. And
Yeah.
I'm into all the cryptids. Okay, so like I love all the local legends and lore of all the different areas, and I've done several shows on the Jersey Devil, and we talk about it pretty often. But I've actually been Bigfooting in New York, so I know y'all got
Oh,
lots of Bigfoots up there. Yeah,
cool. Whereabouts in New York were you?
I was up at near Montauk, actually, Montauk, New York,
Oh,
off Long
cool.
Island of all
Yeah.
places.
No
Yeah.
kidding. That's cool. Montauk Monster up that way. No kidding. That's
Well,
awesome.
Junior, yeah, that's that. I was actually up there with some survivors of the Montauk Project that happened
Oh,
up there,
cool.
and I had my own personal tour guide. His name is Long Island Bigfoot. Okay, Mike. He might be in the chat tonight. I don't know, but uh, Mike and some of the guys, they were like my own personal tour guides up there, and we had some Bigfoot activity while we were there, for sure.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, because you think of places like New Jersey and New York, especially Long Island, and a lot of people don't think that there'd be Bigfoots up there. There's a lot of Bigfoots up there, though, right?
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
mean, New Jersey, you got the most densely populated state, so you don't think it would be good for any cryptids, right?
Yeah.
Uh, or the really haunted road in West Milford, Clinton Road. If you go onto my YouTube channel, we did a whole documentary on Clinton Road. Very cool. That's right outside of Sussex County, New Jersey. But yeah, New Jersey's got some really cool and fascinating places. The Pine Barrens, 1.1 million acres.
Whoa.
And that's a legitimate. It's actually the largest undeveloped tract of land between Florida and Maine on the eastern seaboard. So we got some land, if you think about it. And then up by where we are, up in northwest New Jersey, up in the Kittatinny Mountains, you have the Delaware Water Gap area and High Point State Park, Stokes Mountain, Stokes State Forest. It's really absolutely phenomenal. There's a lot of area that something can roam for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, you don't just stay in the New Jersey area, but because you pretty much go and do research all over, especially like the southeast and just the eastern part of the United States, right?
Yeah, the whole East Coast. Yeah, we're hitting this year. We have had 19 states lined up for our tour this year. So I'm so excited to get on the road. You have no idea. I got cabin fever so bad.
Oh, I bet. I'm actually jealous. I would love to be out doing Bigfooting all the time. Now, so you take off on like a whirlwind tour, right? It's like a tour where you're going from city to city every day for how
Yeah.
long? Months on end, like a couple of months?
What I do is I pick like a geographical area, say the Midwest or something like that, or the South. I'm doing the southern leg of the tour, so I'm going to Mississippi, Florida, Georgia, and Alabama this tour. The next one coming up, and we're staying in the Florida Panhandle, so I can hit those kind of states from there. And I go for about 2 to 3 weeks and hit as many venues as I possibly can. Try to bring my message to people to come out and explore the outdoors more. And they happen to I normally speak at libraries, and they happen to pay me to go, and that funds my way to camp at these state parks and national forests and stuff at night, and it funds my way to keep the show up and look for Bigfoot on the road. So it's really a win-win-win-win-win if you can think of it that way.
It is. What do you think about the national parks having lots of Bigfoots in them? Do you think that they were designated, that land was designated as national parks potentially to take care of the Bigfoots and give them a place to live?
I'm not sure about that, but I do know that the national parks are very desolate. I mean, you don't have a lot of people there, especially you have the national park system, which is phenomenal. It's unrivaled anywhere else in the world, really. It's magnificent. But then you have also the national forests, and you have a lot of just undeveloped, just wild lands out there, and that's what I prefer to camp in, is the national forest. One, because they're free, and two, because it's a lot of primitive camping in national forests. There's not a lot of designated areas, which I think you have a better chance of finding Bigfoot in.
Oh yeah. Oh, I do a lot of my research in national forest
Hmm.
and in state parks. I mean, I've gone out and done investigations at state parks here in Georgia, where I get calls from state park rangers and stuff.
Hmm.
They're saying, "Hey, we've got all these Bigfoot reports coming in. Will you please come and investigate and stuff?" So there are people that actually work at these parks that are pretty aware that there's Bigfoot activity going on in some of those. Now, do you ever get calls to go investigate, or do you just kind of pick places that have high densities of Bigfoot sightings?
So, here's kind of a secret behind how I pick the places that I go to, right?
Okay.
So, about 6 to 8 months prior to going to, we'll say, a library, right? What I'll do is I'll pick a state, and I'll email every library in that state, and I'll say, "Hey, I got this really amazing Bigfoot program that I could bring to you, and do you want me to come out and speak at your library?" And they'll say, "Absolutely, yes." I'll say, "Okay, awesome," and then I'll get a couple libraries in that area to do the same thing, and I'll schedule that day after day after day. And then what I'll do is I'll pick a place in the middle of those geographic areas and try to camp there. So it's not necessarily, I don't go to areas that are necessarily Bigfoot sightings, but areas that are geographically, logistically in the area of where I need to be library presentation wise. It just makes more sense to do it that way.
Nice. I like that. Okay, so that's kind of what you're going out and doing and getting out in the community and talking to the communities about Bigfoots. Do people ever come into these meetings that you have and tell you about their experiences with Bigfoots in those areas?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
like one of the best parts about it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the libraries always ask me, "How long is your presentation?" And I say, "Well, it's an hour long, but people stay after and they chat." So it usually lingers. People linger about an hour or so after, which is awesome because a lot of times these people will have never had the opportunity to share their Bigfoot story before. So I'll give them, I'll be, and they're local from the area. So it gives them a good output in all my presentations. I always ask, one of the first things I ask is has anybody seen a Bigfoot? And if you would like to share about it. and there's people that have never raised their hands and said, I've never shared anything like this before, but this is what happened. And I think that's one of the coolest things that I can offer people through my presentations, is that output, to be able to share their experience.
Yeah. You know what I find is that people just want to tell their story, and they want to
Yeah.
know that they're not crazy.
Yeah,
Okay. And that
they
they're
want
not
to
the
be
only person
validated.
out there. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And it's great to do these kind of like pseudo town hall meetings, if you will, at these library presentations, because they more times than not, one person will share their story, and then all of a sudden three other people will be like, oh, well, actually, I saw a Bigfoot in the same area. And it's like, oh crap, it's perfect, it's great. It's really cool.
Yeah. Now, okay, here's a question. Do you ever have people that tell you that they've experienced other things, that they're not sure if it was a Bigfoot and it could be something different? I mean, we get reports of things like dogmen and werewolves here in Georgia sometimes. Have you ever gotten any kind of reports like that from people as you're looking for Bigfoot?
Yeah, I've gotten some reports of it. I've gotten a lot of UFO things. A lot of people, and especially in the libraries, come up and they say they have some UFO connections or interdimensional connections. I think Bigfoot's
Mhm,
more of a biological creature.
mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. So here's kind of my thing, is like, I spent 127 nights tent camping last year out in the woods. I have yet to come across anything else besides what I believe to be like a Bigfoot type creature. Not saying that it's not out there, but I have yet to come across it. We'll say it like that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's interesting. Yeah, big. That's very elusive. Like all these cryptids are super elusive,
Yeah.
and a lot of times things get misidentified as well too. So people will be like, when we went to that national to the state park, where the state park ranger asked me to come out and investigate. We have to make sure they're not just seeing bears in the area and stuff. And
Mhm.
once one person says thinks they see a Bigfoot, everybody thinks they see a Bigfoot sometimes. So,
Yeah, well, that's true
it's
too.
that kind of a
Yeah.
deal. You know, absolutely. We have a question actually out of the chat.
Oh, I
Have
love
you?
questions.
Yes. Okay, Andrew. Andrew's got a question. Have you encountered different types of Bigfoots in a same national park? Have you ever gotten reports of like different looking Bigfoots? Because I know they're different types of Bigfoots, right? According to the region, though, usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I can't say for specific national parks. I can speak for we'll say the state of New Jersey. Uh, New Jersey, I believe, and this is gonna sound a little crazy, and your listeners may think I'm going out on the crazy level here, but I'm not. I promise you, I've
No,
done my
you're in
research.
good company. You're in good company. Okay, I
It's
promise.
so I think there's like 9 to 12 Bigfoot that reside in the state of New Jersey. And one of I think there's two family groups that live in the state, and I say that because we'll take my county, Sussex County, for example. There's a reports of dark hair individual Bigfoots that come, say, in June or whenever they come. And then about a month later, you have the red hair Bigfoots that we get reports and sighting reports of in the same area about a month later, that follows the black hair. So I think that would be show two different individual family groups of Bigfoot that
Mhm.
live in the state. Like I said, I can't say specific national parks, but I can say that there are probably multiple family groups that live in the same area, which just makes sense.
Yeah, about how tall are your Bigfoots in New Jersey? I mean, because down here in the South, we get anything, they're usually around like 7 to 8 feet tall, sometimes a lot taller. But and in Florida, they're a little bit smaller too. They're like 6 to 7 feet
Yeah,
sometimes.
we
So
get the same, about 8 foot
mhm,
normal here. We have 6 foot female Bigfoot that get sighted all the time. Just outside of human range for a female. But 8 foot tall male Bigfoots that we have, and we also have some juvenile Bigfoots that are growing up in the state that we get reports of as well, which is really cool. We find juvenile footprints in the Pine Barrens when we go down there, which is really cool. So that kind of shows. I know I'm not crazy. Thank you so much. That kind of
thank you,
shows
Donna.
a Donna, I appreciate that. You have no idea. No, that shows more of a kind of healthier population of Bigfoot that reside in the state, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. No, that's That's super cool. Okay. The other question that he was asking was, how do you protect yourself out there? Now, I did see a video on your channel where
Oh, here we go.
you might have released some bear spray in the car the other day or a while back. I don't know how long ago that was.
That was a little bit ago. Yeah, I
Whoa.
still that was
Wow.
like I think that was like 3 years ago, and I still am hurting from it to
Does
this
it still
day.
burn?
It
You're still
still
burning.
burns. Yeah. Yeah, no, it still burns when I pee. No, no, the bear mace incident, that's exactly why I don't carry any weapons or anything, why I go. You want me to tell you the story of the bear mace?
Yeah, please, I love it. Yeah, because a lot of people that go bigfooting carry bear mace. They carry bear
Yeah.
spray, especially my friends up in Alaska. Okay,
Oh,
they're always
yeah.
they're all carrying bear spray up there. So for Bigfoot,
Yeah. Well, it
yeah,
works. I'll tell you
okay,
that.
it works.
That's for sure. It definitely is very powerful. We were in the Delaware Water Gap area of New Jersey, and I was in the back of a Jeep. It was the driver, a passenger, and me in the back seat. And we were going to this investigation area. Ironically enough, where we almost stepped on a bear. We were coming back from that, and we it's so Old Mine Road in the Delaware Water Gap area, which is a really cool road. It's very squatchy. It's actually the oldest continuously used road in the United States, which is super awesome. So we were on it, and it feels like it has not been paved since then either. So we were on that road, and it was bumpy. I mean, and all of a sudden, I hear the fire extinguisher go off in the back of the Jeep. We're in a Jeep, right? And it starts, and I'm like, Mike, why is your fire extinguisher going off in the car? And all of a sudden, by the time I said that, the I started coughing. I couldn't catch my breath. I started this pain in my eyes that I can't describe. And he also gets bear maced up front. We kind of like hotbox the car a little bit
Oh
with
my
bear
god,
mace. And so he kind of like he tries to stop the Jeep and almost flips in the process. The two front passengers, uh, dive out onto on the ground, and they're coughing and rolling around. They shut the doors. It was a two-door Jeep. They shut the doors. I'm in the back seat, and I'm stuck now in the Jeep, hotboxed in the Jeep with this bear mace. And
oh
I'm
my
like, oh, I can't get out. I can't get out. I'm jumping over the back seats trying to get out. Finally, I get out, and there's the video pops on of how we're all rolling around on the ground, throwing up, and yeah. It took me 3 days to open both of my eyes.
no,
Yeah, I
are you
swear to God,
serious?
3 days. Yeah. It was bad. Yeah. Uh, a little fun thing. So yeah, so after that, we like a week or so, month or so after that, we went back out bigfooting, and I put on my backpack, and I guess I sweated a little bit, and I guess the bear mace was still from like where it sprayed on my back, because it was on my hip, the bear mace, so I guess it sprayed on the backpack too. The sweat on my back reactivated it,
Oh
and I
my god.
got bear maced all over again. So that was fun.
Do not use on humans. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta agree with Millie. Yeah, that's terrible. That's terrible. So it's important to kind of know like how what measures to take in case that ever happens. I would assume you would include that with your Bigfoot 101 course now, right? With your Squatchables. Do you still do the
Unfortunately, yeah. Yeah,
The Squatchables series?
I haven't done a
Yeah.
Squatchables episode in a while. What I try to do is try to include them into my normal episodes now. The Squatchables was really cool. It's a really cool mini series about how to find Bigfoot, Bigfoot 101. But probably the number one tip I would give anybody that carries bear mace is it's not fail proof. I had the safety on, and it was even zip tied, but the zip tie broke. So
Oh,
fun
oh my
fact.
gosh.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've actually been sprayed with mace before by accident. I had it on a keychain one time, and the keychain broke. So,
Oh.
or maybe I sprayed it. I don't know. I didn't mean to do it. Okay. But yeah, it broke, and I accidentally sprayed it at the same time, and it sucked. But it wasn't bear spray. Bear spray is so much worse.
10 times worse. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is so great that you actually go out in the community and you teach people, you put it out online, you give them like it's like the Cliff's Notes almost of like, okay, this is what you need to bring. I mean, I haven't taken your course or seen the Squatchables yet. However, I have a kid. He's 9. He's just getting into Bigfooting. I
Oh, that's
just started
awesome.
taking him out in the woods with me, and this would be perfect for him and his friends. Because I remember when I first started Bigfooting, I was like you. Like I went and I bought all the gear.
Yep.
Okay, and I was so nervous. I was going out with a team. I went over to my best friend's house and had her husband help me set up my tent in the backyard so I didn't look like a fool when I got out into the woods by myself with that team. And so I did a gear check and I made sure I knew how to use everything, and that I had all the right gear. And a lot of people don't know what to take out there and they don't know what to
Yeah.
do. And you need the right equipment, right?
Yeah, I think what it boils down to is if you're just trying to get into Bigfooting, my suggestion would be to network with people to find out what you need. You don't have to spend a whole ton of money like I did to go out looking for Bigfoot. You can totally network with people and do it for free. There's no cost of doing what you're passionate about. Shouldn't have to pay somebody to do something you're passionate about, I don't think. Um, but you can definitely do it. Squatchables is a good way, but even on Facebook's a great social media is a great platform just to get to know some people. I wouldn't advise going out in the woods with a stranger, obviously, but it's a great way to get some knowledge about the areas and where you want to go to check out. So definitely, it's a great thing to try to get out in the woods instead of not trying to get out in the woods.
Yeah, Mike, where's your favorite place to go Bigfooting? Because you've been all over the
Oh
South and the East Coast. Where's your favorite place to Bigfoot?
man, that's a hard question. I gotta say, I I don't know. Favorite place to go Bigfooting. I don't know. Whitehall, New York is probably if I wanted to find a Bigfoot, I would go to Whitehall, New York. Just because every time I go there, I have activity. Um, but if I wanted to like look for views or scenery or something like that, I would go to like the Smoky Mountains or the Adirondack Mountains in New York State. But I mean, yeah. But if I wanted to get some squatchy activity, Whitehall, New York, Bomoseen, Vermont, Half Moon Pond State Park in Vermont is definitely a great place to look for Bigfoot.
Okay, well, I've been Bigfooting all over the place,
Yes,
and especially all over the South and Southeast. We have the biggest concentration of Bigfoots in North Georgia, of all
that's
places. Can you
awesome.
believe that? I mean, you've been to North Georgia, right? To go
It's
Bigfooting?
squatchy as anything in North
Yeah.
Georgia. You have people don't realize how like you got the mountains up there and
Hmm.
stuff. Like people don't realize that. It's awesome. It's
Okay,
very squatchy.
it's the Appalachian Mountains, and that's the
Yeah.
oldest mountain range in the entire world. And there's a
Mhm.
lot of weird stuff going on in them mountains. Okay, and including Bigfoot. Uh, yeah, I mean, I gotta imagine that you've been told a lot of strange stories and stuff about Bigfoot. What is the scariest thing that's either happened to you or somebody else that you've talked to in all your travels out there when it comes to Bigfoot?
Oh man, that's a good so the scariest thing that's ever happened to me in the woods, I'll tell you that's a good story. I was this is in February. So this time of year, it was abnormally nice. It was right before an expedition and we were in Stoke State Forest in New Jersey and all it it was cold but a clear night. So I remember I had this one person sleeping tent. So it's like a backpacking tent. So
Mhm.
you can't sit up in it. Like you can't like the only thing you could do in this thing is literally lay down. So I'm laying down, just got bundled up in my two like mummy sleeping bags, and I am like set for the night. But the moonlight is coming in. It's a beautiful night, right? And then all of a sudden it happens, right? So you see like over top of you the shadow, and you see the shadow come down, and then it starts coming down right above my head. What is it? Spider.
Oh, That's the scariest.
Scariest thing that's ever happened to me. There's audio of me somewhere that screams like a little girl. I don't know where that is, but somebody has it somewhere. It's probably worth a lot of money. But that was the most scared I've ever been in the woods before. Yes.
Oh my God. Okay. Man, I see. I grew up in the country. I'm a country girl, and I grew up with spiders all over the place. And I've never been scared of spiders ever.
Oh,
But
well, you and I are
yeah.
two different people. Well, there we go.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. But so many people are scared of spiders, and it's understandable. I did see a clip where whoever you were with did have a spider on her. So I did see that today. So I saw that on one of your shorts, I think. But but
Yeah.
okay, so you said that in the shadow, and that reminded me of your show, In the Shadow of Big Red Eye. Now tell me the history behind what is Big Red Eye?
Yeah. So in 1970, we're gonna go back to 1972. So right after the Patterson-Gimlin film, that kind of era, uh, we are in Sussex County, New Jersey, and we had a state park ranger that was doing his patrols at night. And during one of his patrols, he saw two reflecting red pairs of eyes staring back at him. So
Mhm.
he went on his record, and he said during his patrol he found this, and he put that in his report, and somehow the newspaper got a hold of that, and thus the name Big Red Eye was born. So it's been seen 8 foot tall, Big Red Eye has been seen all over the country since then. So it's our little claim to fame in Sussex County, New Jersey.
I love that. We have an old green eyes down here in Georgia.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, up in Chickamauga, at the
Oh, God bless
still.
you.
Yeah, sorry. I've been talking a lot tonight, y'all. Okay, so yes, I've been talking. I was actually on a show before this one too. Shout out to Midwest Night Watchers, y'all. What's up, Garrel and Jane? Okay, but so we have an old green eyes, but we see a lot of eyes, red eyes, white eyes. You know, all
Yeah.
these different colors of eyes in the woods, and they're associated with Bigfoots out there, y'all. So they have these like self-illuminating eyes. Um, some people say the red eyes. Okay, so this is what you hear all these different theories, right? Is like the different eyes mean different things. Like the red eyes mean it's something, bad. Like it's something evil out there. I don't think so. I just think that it's potentially the tint of their eyes or something. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, I actually recently heard a theory, which I don't know if I agree with, but it's interesting enough to bring up, is
Mhm.
that uh, red eyes are juvenile Bigfoot, and the eyes change over time. Their eyes change over time. I don't think that happens. I don't think that can happen biologically.
Okay.
Um, but I think Bigfoots are kind of like humans, where they have just different color eyes, right? We have different color
Mhm.
eyes. Of course, Bigfoot can
Yeah.
have the same potential to have that as well. I don't know if they can illuminate themselves. You said self-illumination. I don't
Mhm.
know if they could do that. I think it's pretty cool. I've talked to some of my best friends in the Bigfoot community have seen like eyes that self-illuminate. I've
Mhm.
never seen it, so I can't say anything, but I mean, I can't say anything that they haven't seen that either, so I think that's really wild, that has that potential to have that self-illuminating.
It's odd. I've seen it. Okay, I've
That's
seen
so
it. So
crazy.
yeah, it doesn't make sense, but we think in like human terms and like what we know from the animals that we already know that have been documented. We're talking about cryptids, and Bigfoot. So it's different. I don't know. Glenn has an interesting point in the chat. The eye colors related to orb colors. Okay, so that's something I guess I can ask you about orbs and stuff because there's a lot of different elements to the Bigfooting phenomenon, and a lot of times people are associating, and I myself included, we almost always have orbs in the environment, and we don't know what orbs are. There's all sorts of different
Yeah.
types of orbs. Orbs in the environment when there's a Bigfoot experience. Okay. And sometimes these orbs are like different colors and stuff. And I would not associate the colors of the orbs with the eyes of the Bigfoots. I've never done that. I've never made that connection or anything, but
Yeah.
there are orbs in the environment sometimes. Have you ever encountered orbs?
Once, I was
Yeah.
in Pennsylvania, I think I was in Forbes State Forest, and which is creepy, a creepy area in itself. I think Forbes State Forest, we were camping in one time, and we actually found a bloody doll on the side of the road. It's the creepiest thing ever came across in while I'm bigfooting, so that would not be cool. But we were in the doing our bigfooting thing. We were at camp, and we saw just a blue orb, and I don't know. We weren't by a swamp, so I can't say it's swamp gas, which everybody says it is. But it was just strange. I couldn't tell you what it is, you know. But we didn't have any Bigfoot activity, so I can't associate the two together.
Man, our friend of the show, Raymond Samansky, he wrote a book called Swamp Gas My Ass. Oh my gosh, but it was in relation to UFOs and stuff. Okay. And so
That's funny.
anyways, it's funny. I know. So some people say it is swamp gas, you know, and a lot of these phenomenon can probably be explained by natural phenomenon, you know.
Of course.
Some of the stuff that we think is like supernatural, it has a scientific solution, or you know, it can be explained. Okay, a lot of it.
I think it's what's paramount for anybody that's looking to go into bigfooting is, or get into the Bigfoot world or whatever, is familiarize yourself with the animals that are out there, familiarize yourself with the phenomena that are out there, with the creatures, what the wood sounds like, because a lot of things, especially at night, sound crazy, but they're not. They're just explainable things away. Like a squirrel at night sounds like a freight train running at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just, you know, I would say familiarize yourself with like a peacock down in south in Florida, per se. Peacocks sound crazy. So if you don't know what a peacock sounds like, that could be like a Squatch thing. I don't know. But definitely familiarize yourself with what kind of stuff is in the area that you're going out into.
I totally agree. Okay, so I've heard owls. When I was walking my dog, I lived in Decatur, Georgia. Okay, in the city, right outside of Atlanta. I'm walking my dog one night, and I lived in this place that had these huge oak trees, and I'm walking my dog, and I'm hearing monkeys in the trees. And I'm talking about monkeys, and I must have really, because they started making noises, so I made the noise back. I like to imitate animals, you know, for fun. I thought it sounded like a monkey. Okay. Yeah. And so I made that noise back. Well, it started getting violent. Okay. And it started following me and my dog. And I thought that I was going to be attacked by a monkey or something in the trees. I ran home. It turns out that was an owl. Okay. Because we had owls out there, but when they get mad, they start sounding like monkeys, like rabid monkeys is the way I would describe it. So things that you wouldn't expect come out of animals' body. Like they make weird noises, just like bobcats sound like screaming women. And
bobcats,
stuff.
foxes sound crazy. Yeah. Owls sound crazy. I heard one time you heard the owls going, the barred owls going, right? Wah, 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 right? And then you hear sometimes like the Bigfoots will imitate the barred owls. So it was funny because you hear wah 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 wah. So like it coughed in between the barred owl call. It's kind of funny. It's like, oh, Bigfoot, you silly creature.
Oh no, I've been in situations where they sounded like they were trying to sound like cows. Like we're talking about Bigfoots, okay? Yeah. Bigfoot, they're making noises. We're on top of a mountain. There should be no cows in the environment. On top of a mountain in the dense woods, and we're hearing a cow mooing or making some kind of weird noise, and then it moves, and then it goes into it's like dying of laughter. It's something. It's like,
wow.
you know, and
that's crazy.
It's such a creepy feeling, but it's really funny too at the same time, because it's like it was trying to trick us, but it started laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard we were up in Balsam Mountain Wild Forest in the Catskill Mountains in New York State, and swear serious as a heart attack, heard a cow, middle of the woods. No cows are up there. Definitely nothing up there, but just like you, middle of the woods. And I'm like, what in the world is that? And, you know, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's why it is so important to know your environment, to know all the animals and the sounds that they make. And there's actually an app, okay? Because we have a wildlife biologist on my team, and we have such a dynamic team. I'm on 3 different field research teams, and everybody has such a diverse background. From we have medics, okay, EMTs like yourself, from military personnel, firefighters, nurses, nuclear scientists, wildlife biologists, like I said, and Keith is our wildlife biologist, and he sent me one day a an app, and I forgot the name of the app, but it's like you record a bird noise. Let's just say you
Bird
hear like a
sounds,
noise,
yeah.
a bird sound. You can record it if you hear a bird or any kind of noise that sounds like a bird, and it locates whatever bird that is. It identifies it for you. So it's just all in an app. And if I can figure out what that app is, I'll let y'all know. Okay, because it's important for us to have that as researchers.
Yeah.
Just to know what we're hearing, because not everything's a Bigfoot, y'all. Okay.
And now with the advancement with this technology that's coming out where we can identify bird sounds just from recording them on our phone, we're going to be able to identify a whole bunch more other sounds. And then when you're able to not identify the sounds, that's when it gets interesting. And that's the kind of stuff that I look out for.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Donna's got a cool comment. Yeah, they'll laugh at you. That's when you know you've been recruited into their gang. Whoa, Bigfoot gangs out in the field. Yeah. It have you ever researched an area so much that you feel like you kind of know the Bigfoots out there?
Not per se know them. The closest I've got into like a habituation type thing is my in a research area in Sparta, New Jersey. I had this area that is just crazy. It's Sparta Mountain Wildlife Management Area, and there's something there for sure. And oh, Merlin app, yep.
It's the Merlin
And
app. That's it. Thank you,
there it
Facebook
is. Yeah,
user.
I was trying to remember that too. I couldn't remember it.
It's Merlin for sure.
But I would leave like little gift things, like little puppets and little cat toys and stuff like that there, and they would be gone and then returned in a couple weeks and stuff like that. Very unusual stuff. But that's the closest I've gotten to actually like getting to know a Bigfoot per se.
Yeah. Yeah, well, see, we go and research kind of the same areas over and over again for the most part. We've been going there for a long time, and we feel like some of those places, we might have like kind of a working relationship with some of them. So
Mm.
that's why I was asking. We're like family. We're not a gang though. They have not initiated me into their gang yet. That'd be kind of fun. I might have been initiated. I had something run up behind me one night and knocked my legs out from behind me, and there was
Oh,
nothing
jeez.
there. Yeah. So it's interesting. We do have another question for you, though. This is from Donna. Have you had any of these Bigfoots or anything follow you home before?
Hey, Donna. No, I don't think I have. I'm trying to think. I did one time, probably the closest experience that I had to that was I did get zapped one time, I think, by a Bigfoot. That's on my YouTube channel. I actually recorded the whole thing. I think it's the only time that anybody's ever recorded themselves getting zapped, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, I think that's the closest thing that I've ever gotten to get followed home. That was in kind of in Morris County, New Jersey, right behind my house there.
Yeah, this is something that I haven't talked about. I don't think I've ever told you guys this. People that are watching, I got zapped for the first time when
Hmm.
it was about a month or two ago, I guess. A couple of months ago, we were out in the field down around the troop herd corridor, a place that my team goes and researches. And my son was with me that night, actually. And we were with a couple of guys on my team. And my son saw his first Bigfoot that night. We all saw our with my son saw his first Bigfoot. And as we were walking away, I got zapped. I
Wow.
got zapped. So I'd always heard about getting zapped, but you don't really understand what it is until you get zapped. Okay. And it was quite the experience. But yeah, I don't know. This has been a fun conversation tonight, Mike, and we are almost at the end of the hour.
Oh
So
my goodness! I just looked down
I
at the
know
clock. Holy crap!
it is so wild, right? But I don't think we have after hours on afterwards, so it's okay. We don't have to like cut it right at the time. But because it's the Super Bowl night, right? A lot of people have been watching the Super Bowl. But hey, we got a good crowd in here, man. This has been an amazing chat. Uh, tell the audience tonight what kind of advice do you have? Like, what are what is like your main advice for people that want to get into Bigfooting? What would you tell them?
Oh man, don't go into the woods with strangers. That's my number one thing I always like to tell people, because that's inherently what Bigfooters like to do, is they like to go into in the woods with strangers. Don't do that. That's definitely vet your people before that. But really the best thing that I could offer advice wise is just enjoy it and just don't expect anything. Don't expect there to be activity. I think that's probably one of the things you could that set yourself up for disaster, really, is to expect to have activity. I think, as a Bigfoot researcher yourself, we don't have activity every time. So I think that's important to note. But the other thing is just to be safe and be smart about it. Don't do anything stupid. Don't do anything against the law. Don't go trespassing on private property. That's a big thing. Check your local laws where you go to see. Make sure. I know in some state parks, it's illegal to be out after dark if you're not in your campsite. So just check. Make sure, and don't go alone. Yes, and make sure you don't go alone as well. So all good tips of the trade.
Yeah, no, we never go anywhere alone. And we always, even when we're out with our team, we carry our two-way radios. Everybody is certified in ham radios, and we've all got our Baofungs, and we go out and we have somebody that sits back at base camp. This is when we're out as a team. We always let somebody know where we're going. We go in groups of at least 2 people everywhere we go. And yeah, it's safety first. That's number one, safety first always. So
you can't find Bigfoot if you're not safe yourself, right?
that's right. Because you might not make it back. Listen, there's those missing persons clusters all over these national parks. So we got to be careful. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, where are you going next, Mike? Tell me about your adventures. Where are you headed out next?
I'm in a week and a half. I'm going to be in Florida. We're going to be outside of Jacksonville, Florida, doing a library presentation in Orange Park, and then we're heading over to the Panhandle of Florida. I'll be down by you. I'm actually going to be in southern Georgia, actually not up by you, but down in southern Georgia. But we're doing that tour, and then golly gee, we're going to be 19 states this year so far. So I mean, you tell me where, and I'll probably be there. If you're looking into, if you want to come to one of my presentations and you think I might be in an area by you, I probably will be. Just go to my website, shadowofredeye.com, and you can see where I'm going to be. And my upcoming appearances are all up on there.
Oh my gosh! You know what? I actually have this. I have your schedule right here. Is it okay if we show it? I have
Go
this.
for it. Yeah.
Okay. I got this off your Facebook page.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is it's hard for me to see it because it's so little on my screen, but this is kind of, I mean, that's a lot. No matter what, that's a lot of places you're going. I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous, man.
68 and counting today. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is your map. This is like some of the places you've been, right?
This is where I'm going to go this year. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Cluster in Indiana. That's going to be a fun one.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Sweet. Man, that is so cool. Well, maybe we can link up sometime when you're down here in the South, okay? Because I research all over the South, including Florida, including South Georgia, including Alabama, including Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, everywhere. Okay, so
that's exactly where I go. That's perfect.
I know. Okay, well, we're definitely gonna link up sometime, okay? And and we're gonna do some Bigfooting, okay? So
sounds great to me.
Oh my gosh, Mike. Oh, and where can people find you? Okay, so tell us about your website.
Okay. Shadowofredeye.com has all of our stuff on there. That's kind of our main thing. Oh, look at that. You got it right there. Look at that. Sure. All professional here at Spaced Out Radio. I love it. But no, shadowofredeye.com. Our Facebook is In the Shadow of Big Red Eye. We have an awesome Instagram behind the scenes kind of thing. Oh, look at that. There it goes. A Shadow of Red Eye. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's where you can find us. So we're definitely all over social media. We have an awesome Etsy shop where we sell, we have over 100 unique Bigfoot items. I'll show you one right here. Let me dig it out real quick. Look at this thing. Come on.
Oh, Bigfoot. Hey, any kind of Bigfoot merch, I am so down for it, man. I love Bigfoot merch.
Yeah, yes. We just
Nice.
got some awesome, really cool. Look at these things. It's a 3D
Oh,
wood cutout of Bigfoot. Come on, who
I
needs them?
saw them. You can't
They're
go wrong with buying gifts that are Bigfoot related.
oh
I'm telling you
man.
what, especially coming from like us Bigfoot enthusiasts and stuff, like
And
it's
every
the best.
scale supports Bigfoot research, so you can't go wrong on it at all. It actually supports our trips going, you know, to different places. So we definitely appreciate the Etsy thing. And last but not least, we have a banging email list, which is monthly. And if you want to get involved in that, all you got to do is shoot us your email to any of our socials, and we'll get you added to that as well.
Perfect. And you can sign up for that on shadowofredeye.com.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This has been amazing, Mike. Will you please come back and hang out with me again here at Space Out
Anytime.
Radio? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, listen, you be safe out there. Keep your head on a swivel and do some Bigfooting for me. Okay.
Oh,
And,
you're the best. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for the opportunity to be on. Like I said, I've been a fan for a long time, and I'm so excited that I was on the show. Thank you
well,
so much.
oh my God. Anytime. I'm a fan of yours too. Okay.
Oh,
Well, I'll
thanks.
see you in the woods sometime. Okay.
All right. See you in the
All
woods.
right. Thanks, Mike. All right. Oh my gosh, y'all. What a great show tonight. That was so great. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me. I know it's Super Bowl night, and you guys were here with us tonight. That just makes my heart feel good. And I hope you guys had a wonderful night. I don't believe that After Hours is going to be having a show tonight because of the Super Bowl. But you guys come back and see me this week on my YouTube channel, Wednesday at 1, Thursday at 8 p.m. And then I will also be back here next weekend. Same time, same place. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week. You guys keep your head on a swivel. Be sure to lock those doors tonight. I always say be safe out there, okay? Because we are living in crazy, crazy times right now. But I'm sending all my love and light to you guys. Have a great week. I'll see y'all later. Bye.